ain't got no love for a man trying to buy bad time with no time to give. They ain't got no love.
What is up, YouTube? I'm here with Marc, Fab's guitarist, and Abe, our singer. We're here to talk about No Love a little bit, kind of give you some inside scoop as to how we created this song. I'll start with kind of that weekend. So we're dealing with this guy right here. Always writes ballads. We were kind of running out of time, right? We're like, we need 3 more songs and we don't need more ballads. So.
He's like, I got a ballad.
We need a banger.
I got a ballad.
I got 9 albums of ballads.
So basically, Marc and I leave that weekend and out comes,
at least 2-3 songs.
2-3 songs.
Yep.
This song, No Love, which will be released. Actually, by the time this comes out, it will be released.
Yep.
Lights Out. So we pumped out 2 bangers that weekend. And really happy with those 2 songs. I don't know, why don't you guys talk a little bit about your parts, like guitar. Start with that.
All right. So Brad had his main part that I didn't want to totally overcome. I just wanted to do something more rhythmic and to add to it. So basically, I'm kind of playing the same part, but I just add the wah pedal and add like a percussive part to it. So it just kind of adds to the dimension rather than like a whole different side guitar piece. And I know Brad loves his chunking guitars, and he's like, oh, at this part, just like give me that rhythm part. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make a nice treble, crispy, dirty rhythm part that's chunking along. And we got to L.A. I think we were just thinking we needed one more thing during Abe's rap part. And I just said, oh, hey, I'll just try to improvise something just on the spot. I think it was only like 1 take, 2 takes. I was just like, I just did this. And the guys were like, that's good enough. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. That was kind of the beauty of it. Like, that's why I love working with Marc and Abe, because I'll just come up with maybe just a simple riff and I'll just say something really dumbed down to Marc, like, hey, could you chunk that guitar part out? And then obviously a fabulous part comes out. So it's just incredible work. Hey, so what about those harmonies, man? I think that's one of the most special parts about this song that I want people to kind of key in on that you might miss. But Marc helped us kind of mix it too and kind of get those
everything
out a little higher, right? So why don't you talk about that process?
Yeah, so the harmonies, as a lot of people know, harmonies are just like the sweet spot, the sweetness added on to the top of a song or in the middle of a song to kind of get a certain part to just kind of stand out a little bit more. And I think in our music, we really like to just hold on to those harmonies really great. So when it came to this song, and again, a banger type song, those harmonies have to be catchy because we want people to be able to hear them in their heads, and really understand what's going on. So with those, we were just building. Like when we got to LA, it was a lot of just adding things on top of each other. Like, hey, do this, sing this the same way 3 different times, and then do it again on top of it, a little bit higher octave, a little bit higher pitch, and that just kind of stacked on top of each other.
There's a lot of toning, just like, oh, here, try these tones, try these tones.
And I think this was the second song we started, because we did one song beforehand with that way, and then he was like, let's try another song like that, and it was insane. Yeah.
Oh, I remember Marc and I were like, this stuff's getting real. Like, like Tony would pulled him off in the side and started doing
going to his different piano, like, oh, okay, let's go back.
And I think that's really cool and important, like for people who have been in a studio before or haven't been in a studio before, depending on the producer you're with, some are a little bit able to get more hands-on with you and really be able, like, okay, so if you're going to do this harmony, this is how you're going to sing it. Go to a piano, and just how grateful of an experience that is, I think, for all of us as musicians to be able to have that. So that was cool.
Yeah. So definitely when you listen back to the song, kind of key in on that chorus to see if you can pick out some of the higher and lower harmonies on that vocal part. Yeah. And also when you listen back, when you hear that rap that Abe does, listen to how that guitar part kind of switches it up for a little more, kind of grungy, darker sound.
Yep. When it was originally mixed closer to the center, and I kept on telling him, like, just throw the instruments to the side. And so that's when you can start hearing the vocal harmonies better and the parts better, because now they're way panned out, so they're very audible, and that makes like the stacked harmonies a lot more audible when you listen to it.
Yeah. Actually, that's really cool you brought that up, because that can be kind of a challenge when you have 2 like powerful chordal instruments, right, that take up all those tones. So Marc really worked with the producer to get things panned like far right, far left. So especially on No Love, it's really obvious because it starts at piano. I think it's on the right, maybe left, whatever. And then guitar comes in on the opposite side. So that gives a lot of space so you can hear those vocal harmonies on No Love a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it's something that is we hope you guys can really appreciate on that, especially when you're listening to these kind of like spatial audio kind of things, that there's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. It don't just happen like that. So yeah.
And a lot more stripped down too, like less sound effects.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sound effects originally.
Yep.
In terms of reverb, delays, and things like that. And I just kept on telling them to dial it back, and that's when everything really came out. Dialed back effects, spaced out, and then it really sounded great.
Simple's better.
So also big props to Tony Austin, man. We love you.
The guy.
Great.
So yeah, No Love. That was so much fun to put together at the studio. So obviously I had like 60 keyboards to pick from. And we ended up pulling out the old Fender Rhodes. Remember that stuff, man? One thing interesting about that, which is that fabulous sound, but it is heavy. So these two guys are piano players. Actually kind of makes me nervous sometimes, especially Mark is really good at it.
Never.
But yeah, so we pulled out that Rhodes and started playing solos on it, and it was so heavy that I had to almost anticipate the beat to get that to come out properly, basically.
I remember that. That was a stressful time.
It was stressful.
It was stressful.
No, like
We're strapped for time.
because we were strapped for time all the time.
I remember that, man. You put in, props to Brad for really, getting down into the nitty gritty, and Mark too, and all of us, in this kind of, when we're talking about these separate parts of these things that go into these things, like, it's not, I mean, these are things we haven't done, you know what I mean? A lot, like you've played pianos, you've played, tons of these things, but these things are, like for that piano, it's an originals, like, you know what I mean? So it's, again, heavier keys, heavier, action, all these things. And our songs, especially this song, it's a fast song. Like, it's, again, a punchy song. So to be able to sit down there and track multiple different sections is huge. So, yeah.
Well, anyway, we're super excited. Why don't you go ahead and click the related link, No Love full song on YouTube. We really appreciate the support. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We really love that you guys are following us.
No love for a man trying to buy back time with no time to give. They got no love for a man trying to buy back time with no time to give.